Hey guys, it's Wacky Wednesday, and I thought I'd bring something pretty wacky. I made a trash bagpipe. So we got all the parts that you have on a bagpipe. We have the blowpipe. We have the drone right here. That's the recorder with all the holes actually plugged up, so it makes a nice low note. We have the chanter right here, and that's the one where you control the different notes. We got the blowpipe, the drone, the chanter, and the bag. And I figured we could do a little lesson today on how to make one of these monstrosities. So first up, you're going to need a trash bag. You're going to need some tape. You're going to need a straw, but I brought 2 other straws. You only need 1, but I figured I'd bring a bunch just so you can see you can use lots of types of straws as long as they're strong. A rubber band, a pair of scissors, and yeah, that should be it. Let's get started. First up, we're going to need to fill up our trash bag with air, and we're going to need to seal off the top. So we're going to bundle up the top just like this, as close as you can get to the top, and really just kind of pinch it because that's where we're going to put our rubber band around. So rubber band, I have kind of a big one. A smaller one might be a little better, but this one's strong. It's not going to break. So here's my rubber band. We're going to wrap it around, and then we're going to twist and double back. And what we're doing is we're just tightening down this rubber band a bunch of times. We're going to tighten. You can see we're starting to seal it off right there. Tighten some more. And tighten some more. And I think one more twist and tighten should just about do it for mine. Okay, let's see how we did. Alright, looks like mine's going to be able to hold air right there if the camera will focus. There we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stick the straw in through that rubber band. So I'm just going to push it in. Hopefully I didn't make it too tight where the straw can't get through. And if so, I'll just go back and untighten it a little bit. But you also want it pretty tight because you don't want any air to get out from the bag around the straw. It should make a nice seal. It looks like I made mine a little too tight, so I'm going to loosen it up one and see if that doesn't help. There we go. That should be a little better. Put the straw through. Still a little too tight. I'm going to go one less down. It's too liberal with my tightness. Loosen up the bag a little bit. And of course you can always skip ahead to where Mr. Dooley actually gets it in, since I'm taking forever. And there we go, I finally got it in. Made it pretty dang tight because I didn't want that air to get out. Now let's see if it'll work. We're going to blow the bag. And we'll see if it holds air, which it looks like it does. I'm holding the end right here to make sure it doesn't get through. Alright, next I'm going to take my scissors. I'm going to poke a hole, kind of like I would say 2 inches away from the where the straw is, just 2 inches away, because we're making where the drone goes in. That's the one where it makes just one note. So we poke a teeny tiny hole, and we're going to put the recorder in to the hole that we just made. We're going to push it in. You might need to make that hole a little bit bigger like I'm doing right now. And don't make it too big, because if it's too big and it lets air out of the around the recorder, it's not going to work all that well. So I'm pushing in the recorder. There we go. And here's what we end up with. We have the recorder going inside, but we want to keep this hole next to the mouthpiece exposed. Air has to get out of that hole and not go into the bag, otherwise it won't work. So notice the hole near the mouthpiece is still out. What we're going to do is take some of that tape we got from earlier, and we're going to wrap it around. So we're going to seal off the bag so it doesn't let any air out. And this is kind of the tricky part, because if you don't get the air completely sealed around there and it leaks out, your bagpipe's not going to work all that well. So here we go. We're going to wrap it around there. So we're wrapping it around. Hold on a second, please. Put it up there. All right, so we sealed off the bag. Just like that. And remember, we have to keep that particular hole open. That one right there. Now here's the fun part. We get to seal off any holes that we want. So the one I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes closed, because that makes a D, and I was liking that sound going along. Because this is the one where it just plays one long note. That's why it's called a drone. Drones just drone on and on and on. It's one note, that's it. So I'm going to make another D one. I'm just cutting off little strips of tape and sealing off the holes. And don't forget, you also have a thumb hole. And if you don't seal off that thumb hole, most of the time your notes are not going to work or sound very good. So sealing off my thumb hole, because on a recorder the note D is 6 notes on top down and the thumb down. So making a D. And make sure all those holes are sealed on the recorder, because again, if any air gets out of this thing, it's just not going to work right. It's got to be I'm going to say as airtight as you can make it. This is awful hard to make completely airtight. Okay, I think we're ready to try it. We've got the right note, and remember, you don't have to make a D on there if you don't want. I started out with an A, just the first 2 in the thumb. You can look up your recorder fingering charts online, look up recorder fingering chart, you can pick the note you want to do. And let's try it out. I'm going to blow some air in. And if you look at traditional bagpipes, they always have the drones kind of go over the shoulder like this. In order to make the sound, you're going to have to kind of blow some air in and squeeze the bagpipe, because that's like your lungs blowing air through the recorder. Pushing air out, and there we go, we have a D. Now, I didn't really like how my last one turned out. I put the chanter, that's the one that we finger on, in a place I don't really like. So I'm trying to decide where I want to put my chanter this time. So you can kind of put your bagpipes up and get it how you like it. Then we're going to be doing kind of the same thing, except this one you're going to want to finger. So you want to be able to wrap your arm around and be able to finger right here. So I think I'm going to put mine right here. So I think if I could get a Sharpie, I'll mark it. And I'm going to put that one in there. And then that one, we kind of stick in the same exact way. But we don't have to plug up any holes because we want it to be open so we can do a lot of different notes. I'm thinking that'll work pretty good. So I have where I have it marked where I want to try it. This is very new, it's trial and error. So I'm going to go and poke my hole. And just like last time, we're going to stick the recorder in. So hole is poked. I take my recorder. And make sure you have the fingers up in the direction that you want to do it. And there's nothing worse than you taped it all in and your recorder's upside down. It's very hard to play. So I'm making sure that the fingers are on top so I can play it. Alright, remember not to make the hole too big, because if it's bigger than the recorder, you're going to have some problems. It should fit pretty snug around the recorder. So I'm being awful careful. I'm making the hole bigger, but I don't want to make it too big or I'm going to be in trouble. Alright, recorder's in. Remember, we want to keep this hole exposed right here. Let me get closer. This hole exposed. If it's inside the bag, it's not going to work. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to tape around it to attach the bag to the recorder. And we should be done so after that. Alright, so same thing. We're going to wrap it around. And it always helps if you have a lovely assistant with you as well.
Hi guys. Tape's a little big.
And we'll just wrap around it.
There we go.
Like that.
Perfect.
Doesn't need to be purty. And I think we have a bagpipe. Let's give it a shot. See if this one ended up better than my last. So, same thing, you're going to blow it up. Get the drone over your shoulder. For some reason my drone's not working very well. The bag was blocking that one hole that I said was so important. So you got to make sure it can get air out. So I'm going to kind of get my arm around there. There we go. Oh yeah, this one ended up better. So just to review, tie off the bag with the rubber bands up top. Let's see if you can see that right there. Tied it off, nice and tight. Stick the straw through so it's inside. You can blow up the bag. And again, you want it to be tight, otherwise, air is going to leak out. You're going to put in your first one, nice and close. I'd say like 2 inches away from the blowpipe. That's your drone. And you can make any note you want. You can look up your fingering chart put in recorder fingering chart on Google Images, and it'll show up. And make any note you want. I made a D, thumb, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Over the shoulder, And then you kind of got to feel it out where you want your chanter to be. I liked mine right about here. So that's like six inches on the other side of the drone. So here's the drone 2 inches. Here's the blowpipe. It's kind of like 6 inches away from here. And this is just, I was just kind of guessing at it on the first one. And then I like this one better, but keep experimenting. Maybe you'll find something even better. Bagpipes, Trash Edition, guys. Hope you liked it, and have a nice Wacky Wednesday. And stay healthy, everybody. Bye.